I used to call my doctor and say, what do you think of these test results, doc? Now I just ask Dr. Google. Now I just ask ChatGPT. Please interpret these Spanish test results and give me your interpretation in English, because I don't speak fluent Spanish. And it tells me, it gives me an interpretation. It does. Now, you think I'm the only person who's doing this? No. There's a lot of things I don't ask experts about. So how do you compete against that? How do you compete against artificial intelligence or Dr. Google? That's what we're going to talk about today. There are these magazines here on your tables. And there's a lot of, you should keep that magazine as a piece of marketing that you're going to study, because there's a lot of work that went into it, and it has won a lot of awards. These are some of the awards that I've won for this type of marketing that makes you immune to competition. Who here has competition within 20 miles of you that does the same exact thing that you do? How are you going to compete? How are you going to be the obvious choice? That's what you want to be, and that's what this presentation is all about, to make you the obvious choice. I said to Mick Jagger, "Sir Mick, what's the most important thing you ever learned?" He said, "You can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you find you get what you need." And I know you didn't come here to hear about what I'm going to tell you. You came about the peptides. But if you want to be able to be immune to your competition, this is what you need. I'm sorry to say, this is what you need. Now, what I call it is celebrity. I don't call it being famous. I can't make you famous. But a celebrity is somebody who's famous to a group. Right now, I'm a guy with a microphone in front of the room. You could say I'm a celebrity in this room. Outside of this room, I'm nobody. There's an article about me on the internet. It says I'm the most famous guy in the world that nobody's ever heard of. I am. I've been on 155 TV appearances. I've spoken on every major stage in the world. But nobody knows who I am, and nobody's looking for my autograph or asking me for selfies in the street. And I had an Uber driver who was like, "You know, I was listening to you talk on the phone, and you sound like you're somebody. Are you famous?" And I said, "I'm only famous to the people who matter. And those are the people who are looking me up on Google because they're thinking about paying me a lot of money. To them, I'm famous. And if you look me up on Google, you'll see I own the first 5 pages of Google for my name. But if you look me up on Facebook, you'll see there are 100 guys with my exact name on Facebook. But to Google, there's only one. In fact, the first person with my name who appears in Google results other than me is dead. It's his obituary. If you want to compete with me, it's going to kill you. Now, this is an important point. Think about Grant Cardone. Any Grant Cardone fans in the room? Okay, a bunch, right? You think he's super famous. He is not super famous. Any Tony Robbins fans in the room? Raise your hand. Look around. Everybody in this room is a Tony Robbins fan. I'm going to show you multiple videos of Tony Robbins. People who don't know who Tony Robbins is. Can you believe that? You're going to see it. Because celebrity doesn't mean you're famous except to your customers and prospects. That's an important thing. Celebrity is a marketing strategy. That's what this is. And if you're an author, a speaker, coach, a doctor, any kind of expert, celebrity is what you need if you want to preclude people from considering competing with you. Like, people will not compete with Grant Cardone because you can't compete with Grant Cardone. People will not compete with Tony Robbins because you can't compete with Tony Robbins. If you want to walk on fire with Tony Robbins, there's no one who's going to be equivalent to that. I've done it. Who else is a firewalker? Look at the firewalkers. Okay, I did it twice. If you want to do it with Tony, you can only do it with Tony.
I mean, we're so often out of our comfort zone when we ask for ourselves. And you mentioned that that's an important thing to ask of yourself is how comfortable are you not being comfortable in your comfort zone?
Right. Yeah, pushing through your limits. You know, life begins where your comfort zone ends. And the more you push outside of your everyday life and your boundaries, the more you're going to grow as a person and achieve in this world and create as a legacy.
It's scary.
It can be.
Yeah.
That's when it's great, is when it's scary.
Who's uncomfortable public speaking? Good, good. Do you think if you could conquer that, that would be valuable for you? Yes. Obviously, right? Okay. Nothing is better than getting outside of your comfort zone except conquering your fears. There's a distinction there. And if you can conquer fears and get outside of your comfort zone, you're going to win a lot more in your life. I've had the great privilege to share this message on the same stage as Suzanne Summers multiple times. This was at the Harvard Faculty Club. I said, Suzanne, what's the most important thing you ever learned? She said, everyone needs a mentor. My mentor was Johnny Carson. I met him on the lot at Warner Brothers, and he put me on the Tonight Show, and then the next day, my book was a New York Times bestseller. My book of poetry. She was a poet. What a great woman. Everybody needs a mentor. I am a mentor. I'm different than most mentors that are out there because I do the same stuff with you. I do the stuff that I do because I want it for me. And I advise you to always appeal to self-interest, and the first piece of self-interest you need to appeal to is your own self-interest. You know, the money is great, but if it's not really juicing you, you're not going to be motivated enough by just the money. You got to get to your own self-interest about what you're doing. So I know many of you are in aesthetics. You're probably into the aesthetics because you want to look better. Am I right? Yeah. That's the self-interest that's keeping you in the game. I asked Martha Stewart, Martha, what's the most important thing you ever learned? She said, when I was a little girl, my daddy told me I could do anything, and I believed him. And I'm telling you, everything I'm talking about today, you can do. Just pretend I'm your dad. Daddy told me I could do and I could do. I'm telling you, everything I'm going to talk about, I have done it with my clients, and anybody can do it. You don't got to be special. It doesn't require talent. You just got to do what I tell you. I had the great privilege to share the stage several times with Dr. Oz. I said, Mehmet, what's the most important thing you ever learned? He said, every single one of us can make a bigger difference. Even Mehmet Oz can make a bigger difference. Look what he's doing today, trying to help the whole country.
I don't care how busy you are. But listen, all of you are doing the right thing by being with Clint at his conference. It's a wise move. You're busy. I'm sure you had lots of other things you could have done, but you made time.
Got to make the time. All you got to do is show up. All you got to do is show up in my mess. That's the great thing. Like, you don't got to take any tests. You just got to show up and talk for a few minutes. That's what I ask you to do. What do I really help you to do? Stand out from the competition. We had the most interesting man in the world at one of our conferences from the Dos Equis beer commercials, and he told us the story of how he got to be the most interesting man in the world. He showed up at the cattle call. There were 1,000 guys who looked just exactly like him, except they were all younger and better looking. And he said to himself, how am I going to stand out? And he decided he took off one sock. He was the guy with 2 shoes but 1 sock. Because best or better is subjective, but when you're clearly different than everybody else, it's very easy to remember who you are. So when they were talking about who do you like the best, which one of these people that came to the casting do you like the best for the most interesting man in the world job, which paid $3 million a year for 8 years? He got it because he was the guy wearing 2 shoes but 1 sock. Because different is better than better. The only thing that's better than different is to be a celebrity, because a celebrity means you're better and different. And that's what we do. Okay, now, what I have just done to you are the 5 marketing strategies that I call celebrity entrepreneurship that I wrote about in my best-selling book, Celebrity Entrepreneurship. This is the 5 things that I did to you, and I'm going to explain it to you. This is me explaining it at Mercedes-Benz Corporation, okay? What I just did to you was, I showed you me on TV with Brooke Shields. TV is the great separator. It makes celebrities. Everybody who's a celebrity is on TV to this day. Why do you think Grant Cardone still goes on TV? You've seen him on TV recently. What does he need to go on TV for? For the money? For the fame? No, you go on TV because that's what celebrities do. Next is VIPs, VIP speaking. Now, Grant speaks and Tony speaks in arenas, in front of large audiences. I cannot do that for you. But what I invented was, I speak at very important places. At the Harvard Faculty Club, at Oxford, at the Royal College of Physicians, at the University of London, at the Bankers Club of Mexico. These are places that have logos on the podiums, which are something. And I say all the time, this is a writer downer. This has made me so much money. Something is better than nothing. And they may not be the perfect thing for you, but for most of you in this room, speaking at the Royal College of Physicians is about as good as you're going to get as a speaking opportunity. And we have one of those coming up next year, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. So the VIP speaking is the second part of the formula for how to be a celebrity in the eyes of customers and prospects. And you know what? The image of you at the podium is every bit as important as what you say at the podium. Sometimes the photos are better than the videos because the photo allows the audience, the observer, to imagine in their mind what you might have said. They have no idea. But a lot of times they will imagine something better than what you actually said, and that's good. Don't disillusion them. Okay, and then we go to CA, celebrity attachment. Celebrity attachment means that you're in photos and tell stories about major celebrities. Here you were for 2 days listening to these people talk. Did anybody mention a celebrity? I wasn't in the room, but I'm just wondering. Did anybody mention a celebrity name in the last 2 days? Not one freaking celebrity name? Do you know how ridiculous that is? To be ignoring the fact that everybody's interested in celebrities in our culture, but they don't use celebrity names. They don't have celebrity stories. Why not? Here I am, I've talked about like 5 celebrities. Isn't it a little bit more interesting when I'm talking about people that you know? I know that it is. And this is part of my strategy of being a celebrity. I talk different. I talk like celebrities talk. Because celebrities talk about other celebrities. And you're allowed to do it. You don't have to pay them to do it. You can just do it, and that's what I do. That's part of VIP speaking, and that's CA celebrity attachment. Photos, videos, and stories of major celebrities. Then BSA, best-selling author. Who here is an author? Raise your hand if you have a book. Come on. Only one guy? Only Eric Stoller's dad has a book? Come on. That is not good, people. As Donald Trump would say, that's not good. You need to have a book. It's the best instant celebrity credibility positioning tool there is to write a book. I had one of my clients, he helps people retire from Honda. Okay, he's a pension expert. So I said, okay, you need to write the book on how to retire financially free from Honda. So that this way, when you go in front of the room and you're doing your dinner seminar, you say, hey, listen, guys, I literally wrote the book on how to retire financially free from Honda. And he's so booming. He is so freaking booming. He spoke at the Harvard Faculty Club. He went on TV. He was in pictures with Suzanne Summers. And that book, that best-selling book, is so key. We can make your books bestsellers. It's $2,995 to make a book a bestseller these days. We know how to do it on Amazon, guaranteed. Everything I do is guaranteed. Everything I do is guaranteed. And that's another thing I call it guaranteed sales. What do you guarantee? What do you guarantee in your business? If you're not guaranteeing anything in your business, you better reconsider what can you guarantee? Because guarantees will help you sell way more than you'll ever have to make good on your guarantees, especially if you're good. I assume you're good at what you do, or great at what you do. You should be. The last part is, A. I skipped the A. A is awards. I showed you my awards. I showed you me on TV. I showed you me speaking at Harvard. I showed you me with celebrities. I showed you me in video with celebrities. I showed you my best-selling book, Celebrity Entrepreneurship. See, I did the 5 things. And then in parentheses, it says CLMA. It's a half thing. There's really 5.5 things that make a celebrity. The half thing is celebrity lifestyle marketing assets. So in this magazine, here we are with the Rolling Stones. That's kind of celebrity lifestyle, but here we are in Acapulco in our villa. The picture on the dark photo is the villa at night. That's our villa, 20,000 square feet, where we do a lot of our seminars. On the left side, that's the outdoor dining room with Acapulco Bay in the background. That's a celebrity lifestyle marketing asset. And what that is about is that for many of you, your customers, whether they be patients or clients or whatever, they're hiring you because they want to be beautiful like you. They believe if they hire you, that you know the keys to beauty and you're going to make them beautiful just like you. And so what you want to display to them is that not only are you beautiful, but you're also living the life that they wish they could have. Because when they're beautiful like you, then they're going to get to have the life that you're living that's so fantastic. Because a lot of times, especially for affluent clientele, they want to be the person that they're investing the money with. They want to be the celebrity. They feel like if they can pay the celebrity, then they can get to be more like the celebrity. And that's why you want the celebrity lifestyle marketing assets to portray the great life that you have and that you can deliver to them. There's celebrity lifestyle marketing assets. That's Stonehenge. We took a bunch of our clients there to make videos, and we're going back to Stonehenge when we do our trip to the United Kingdom next October. 1 year from now, we'll be back in London, speaking at the Royal College of Physicians, at the University of London, at Oxford, and at Stonehenge.
Everything you talked about, how, the book, the speaking, the celebrities, it all slowly built your brand. And you might not see it initially, particularly when you're starting. It's just little tiny pieces. But once they start coming together, the world starts to see you differently. The world starts to really give you credibility and authority, and it really opens up your world for everything else.
Opens up huge opportunities, and you're going to think you're the same. You're going to think you're really not that much different than you were, and I'm not. I still feel exactly the same way I did when I was 19 years old. But I've had a lot of different experiences, and I have the marketing assets that portray me as a different person than I did when I was 19 years old. There's one of my clients, Dr. Matt Luke, he's a chiropractor. He's been using this as his Facebook profile photo since 2016. Okay, why? Because it says Harvard Faculty Club, Entrepreneurship Club of Harvard Business School. These logos, these credibility pieces will work for you for at least a decade. When you're a speaker at the Royal College of Physicians, that's going to work for you for a long time. And I really recommend that what you're going to do is go online, find print photo on canvas. Google anyone that you want, and you're going to upload the pictures that we take of you speaking at these important places onto a website that will print it out on canvas and make it this big and hang it on the wall in your waiting room of your brick and mortar location, and make the people wait in the waiting room and consume your marketing. It's a strategy, and it's good, okay? Then you redeploy these assets. Here he is. So, here's my Jumbotron, and there's his Jumbotron. He took the picture of him that we took at Harvard Faculty Club and made it 100 feet tall on the Jumbotron. We'll be doing that again in 27. 26, we're going to be in London and Mexico City. 27, we'll be back in New York and in Boston. There's one of our clients, Dr. Deb Matthew, a BHRT superstar. We make industry icons. Any Deb Matthews fans or aware? Anybody aware of Dr. Deb? Okay, great. So Dr. Deb has done everything of ours many times. She's held many of her own seminars at our villa. And there she is at my event at the Harvard Club of Boston with Suzanne Summers, the second time we did it with Suzanne.
It changed me. It changed everything about how I communicate and what it says on my website and how I write blog posts and how I speak to patients when I'm telling them about our program. So it's transformed so much about me and therefore my business and therefore my team. So it's like a whole life transforming experience which transcends way beyond just the actual
TV appearance, the speaking appearance, the celebrity attachment. Look, it's not a cult. Despite what you may read, this is not a cult. But it is a philosophy of marketing that can extend into your whole life, because you're going to start talking different, showing up different, you're going to get better looking, you're going to lose the weight, you're going to get the better haircut. I designed her haircut because I was sick and tired of the mistake that she wasn't seeing. So a lot changes for you when you adopt this celebrity attitude, and it's going to bleed its way into everything that you do. The writing, the talking, the photos, everything. It's all about impact, influence, and income. What is so funny? I see a lot of people laughing. The haircut thing? Hey, look, if you need it, I'm going to tell you you need it. I told this one girl, hey, what do you think about Invisalign? Can we get rid of those buck teeth? I asked her dad first, because he's the one who signed her up. She's 26 years old. She's got Invisalign. She's getting the teeth fixed. I'm going to help. Look, I'm in the image business. If I see something that can make you look better, perform better, be less obtrusive to your message, this is about your message getting out there and having the impact that you want to have. And if I see a rough edge that you don't see, I'm going to tell you about it, hopefully in a nice way. I've gotten a lot better. I haven't had anybody cry in several years now. But I will tell you what you need to hear. I'm never going to blow fluff up at you. I'm always going to tell you the real truth. And if you have more confidence, charisma, and cuteness, could you make more impact, influence, and income? Probably. And that's what I'm going to help you to get. So how did this start? Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be special. And the idea I came up with was if I could go to the Wharton Business School, which I read about in a book, and graduate with all those superstars, then maybe I could get my parents to stop arguing so much. Did your parents ever argue when you were growing up? They tried not to. Well, mine were constantly arguing. So I get into the Wharton Business School, and I graduate with a 4.0 GPA in entrepreneurship. And I go home to get the attaboys from my parents, and what happens? Was it a love fest? No. They get into the biggest argument of all time. My dad storms out of the house, he slams the door. I'm sitting on the couch next to my mom, like I've done a million times. And I'm like, you know, Mom, the way he resents you all these years, have you been cheating on that? And I'm thinking, holy cow, where did that question come from? I never even thought that question before. And then I'm thinking, wow, I can't believe how rude I am to have asked my own mother a question like that. I've never said anything so rude in my life. And then I'm thinking, how come she's not answering the question? And then she says, he's not your real father. Your real father was a doctor at the fertility clinic we went to for 6 years trying to have you, and you look just like that guy. Say what? Seriously? Oh yeah, seriously. So what happens? Monday comes. I get on the phone with the vice president of the investment bank on the 87th floor of number 1 World Trade Center. Sir, I really do appreciate your offer to come work at the investment bank, but I've decided I don't want to be an investment banker anymore. And what did I do? Naturally, I ran off to Hollywood. And I started going on auditions and writing screenplays. And in no time flat, I became a very special person in Hollywood. I became the Wharton Business School taxi driver. Where were you on December 31st, 1999? Were you getting your Y2K cash out of an ATM? I was behind the wheel of yellow cab number 6087. In the backseat of the cab that night were these 2 guys who were MBA interns at Goldman Sachs. I'm listening to their conversation. Hey man, did you hear about Mr. Carrera that made you the last partner right before the Goldman IPO? And I'm like, Are you talking about Chris Carrera? How do you know Mr. Carrera? Chris Carrera was a pledge. Let's see. Boom. Right there. Right there. See that guy with the white jacket? Over one, up one, that's Chris Carrera. And I go home to my little boat I'm living on in Marina Del Rey. I climb into the deep earth. I pull the money out of my sock where I was hiding it so I wouldn't get robbed. $513? Driving a taxi on New Year's Eve of the millennium? I was supposed to be somebody special. Where was Chris Carrera tonight? Partying at the Rainbow Room? If I could pull myself out of that ditch, I truly believe anything is possible because I was so scared. I was 30-something years old. I had one line item on the resume, yellow cab company. So people ask me, do you resent the 13 years of chasing the Hollywood dream that resulted in one movie script being purchased for me for $1? Of all the 30 scripts that I wrote, one of them sold for $1. And I say no, because finally, my thick head got it. The most important lesson in business of them all. I couldn't hear it until I went through the pain, which is who you are is more important than what you actually do or sell. They could have put 1 million Columbia University Journalism School graduates on the Today Show to interview Clint Arthur, but they put Brooke Shields. Why? Why do they pay her all that money? Because she's Brooke Shields. And people care about people who are celebrities. And they're really excited. Like it says in this magazine from Dr. Deb, she says, my patients are proud to be associated with me. My colleagues perceive me to be a celebrity, but more important than all that, it changed how I see myself. I have so much more confidence. I believe in myself. I'm not afraid to put myself out there, and it's really helping to do things that I never thought I could do. That's what you get when you learn the most important lesson in business. My mentor, Dan Kennedy, he put it another way. He goes, I had a problem. My wife broke her wrist. I knew I needed an operation on my wife's wrist. What I did not know was who I was going to pay a lot of money to fix my wife's wrist. There's probably 1,000 surgeons in the United States who were more than qualified to be the one to get all the money to fix her wrist, but only one got it. Who got it? Who is the most important thing in business? I said, Tony, when I was the host of Tony's 60th birthday party in Los Angeles, I said, what's the most important thing you ever learned? He said, life is happening for us. So those 13 years happened for me. And I promised you something. Anybody here know who Tony Robbins is? Do you? No? Do you know who he is? Do you know who Tony Robbins is? No? How about you? You know who he is? Wrong demographic, right? Just the wrong demo, right? How about these people?
What do you think of Tony Robbins? You know who he is?
Iron workers in LA.
Who the fuck's that? No, really. Do you know who he is?
We all think he's somebody special, but they have no idea who he is because they are not aspirational. We are aspirational. We sit in seminars and try to improve our lives. They just try to make it to Miller time without getting evicted. I said, champ, what's the most important thing you ever learned? He said, stay humble. And this is not about ego at all. Anybody who knows me will tell you, I'm a grounded person. This is only about marketing, about impact, influence, and income. That's it. Any of you guys know Dr. Fab? He's done my speaking events. How about Amy Duffy? She's in the magazine. She went from bankruptcy to 7 figures, doing celebrity entrepreneurship. She's selling $25,000 programs. Who here sells a wellness program? Anybody? How much is your wellness program? 7,500. She started at 8,160 when she started with me. Now she's at 25,000. Could you imagine selling a $25,000 wellness program? No. Her staff sells 5 of them a month. She doesn't even close people anymore. She's a celebrity. They can close for her. When you're a celebrity, your staff will work differently for you. They will show up excited because they work for a celebrity. They will be able to sell for you because they'll believe in you more than they believe in you now, because you don't have celebrity powering your marketing to improve the way you're perceived by your staff, by your family, by your friends, and by your patients. It works on all of them. And most importantly, it works on you. See, you cannot believe that you can sell a $25,000 program, but when you're a celebrity, you will. When you've sat this far away from a Surgeon General or a major movie star or spoken at the Royal College of Physicians, you'll think of yourself differently. So what do you talk about when you speak at the Royal College of Physicians? Your story, who you are. See, all these people here, all these speakers here this weekend, they were all talking about stuff that you could have Googled, right? Information. And nobody cares about information. People only care about stories. Once upon a time, there was a guy who went to California with a dream, and he ended up driving a taxi. For 13 years, he chased the dream and got nothing. And then he finally quit and tried to become a businessman and ended up the celebrity judge of Battle Butter on Iron Chef America and became a celebrity entrepreneur. That's my story. And you need to have your stories because that's what people care about. And I will.
1 year ago, I was closing less than 30% in my dinner seminars. And today, I'm closing more than 60%.
Between year 1 and year 3, we're up $1 million a year.
I have increased my team by 80% and have more than 100 patients in my waiting list. I went from a 6-figure practice to a 7-figure practice.
Wow.
Wow.
You
Okay.
now have the highest prices and a 3-page waiting list. You're the most in-demand pediatrician in Charlotte, North Carolina.
True story. That is a true story.
And was it like that 6 months ago?
No.
6 months ago, you had plenty of openings.
Six months ago.
Plenty of openings.
What day would you like to come in, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're just about the same as everybody else, price-wise.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, it's like, I'm sorry, we have a waiting list, and we're the most expensive. I just want you to know, we don't take insurance.
Yeah.
We're most expensive, it's cash only, and we have.
Yep. 6 months. That's how fast it can happen. Is it going to happen that fast for you? I don't know. It depends how bad you want it. It depends how much of it you're willing to do. But I do guarantee that everything I promised you, you're going to get. PR. This ain't PR. This ain't PR. PR is possible results. We are guaranteed results. Everything I promise you, I will deliver. I will always over-deliver. Always. That's part of my modus operandi of doing business, is to always under-promise and over-deliver. Okay, so in these magazines, you will see there is this enrollment form. For those of you who think this makes some sense and are smart enough to want to invest a few ducats to accelerate this process for you, to make it possible for you to do stuff that you could never ever do on your own, then pull out this form and I'm going to talk you through it quickly. Notice it begins with TED. How many of you have done a TED Talk? I know this one, I didn't see any hands. I know this one woman who's done 48 applications for TED Talks, no acceptances. Hey, if you want to do a TED Talk, this is your chance to do it. Okay? My wife has a license to host a TED Talk, and we're going to be doing it in August of 2026. And I'm going to be hosting a training program called TED Express. And why hassle it? Just get it. Okay? Now, there are memberships. The gold membership means you're going to do 2 events. And all of our events, except for TED, are $10,000. If you do a gold membership, it's a really great value. It's only $14,988 at this conference. And you could even break it up into 8 installments of $1988. And you could do any 2 events in yellow. So that means you could do Break Out of Your Box, or speaking at the Royal College of Physicians, or speaking in London. What is break out of your box? Break out of your box is the most fun weekend you'll ever have in Mexico City. You get to speak at the Bankers Club of Mexico. You get to speak at Chapultepec Castle. You're gonna have a totally fun time. It's about being a better speaker, about being a better leader, and it's about innovation. Okay, how do you look at the world and your life with fresh eyes? That's what Break Out of Your Box will deliver. And Mexico City is the most exciting city in the world, and you're gonna have a great time. TV. If you want to do TV, that's Celebrity Launchpad.
This is the second time I've been here, so I'm a really busy mom, busy schedule. So what makes someone do the same event twice? Results. This event gives you more transformation than anything else you're going to do. If you want to get booked on TV, if you want to be a celebrity, nobody can coach you like Clint can.
That's Dr. Kellyanne. She's been on Good Morning America a bunch of times. She's had 2 New York Times best-selling books on bone broth, and she's got her products in every CVS and Wegmans grocery store in America. Why does Grant keep doing TV? Look at that one. May 24th, 2025, he was on TV. Why? Because that's what celebrities do. It's the easiest way to position yourself as a celebrity and the hardest one to do. Why was Tony on TV in February of 2024? Does he need to go on TV? No, because that's what celebrities do. When do you stop going on TV? When you're dead. When does the shark stop swimming? When you're dead. October 2026, we'll be in that room at Oxford University. That's the podium you'll be speaking on. And that's the photos you're gonna go home with, except you're gonna be behind the podium. And you're gonna get the video of you speaking at that podium. July of 2026 is Break Out of Your Box. And again, it's the most fun weekend you'll ever have. It's a great beginner weekend. If you want to learn more about speaking, I am going to be training you on that, and I will work with you on your story to make sure you have a great story. I've been nominated for 2 Pulitzer Prizes, and I'm very good at telling these stories. TEDx is August of 2026. Just get it. Get it if you're smart. Celebrity Attachment in London. These are some of the celebrities we've worked with. Joel, 4 times. Oprah, Mehmet, twice. I'm gonna have a major celebrity for you in London and a captioned celebrity, like someone like the Surgeon General, who when you read the caption, you'll be like, oh, that's very cool. Awards. You gotta win awards, and I will present you with an Outstanding Speaker Award, and I may have a celebrity presented to you like we had Miss New York USA presenting these awards. Celebrity Lifestyle Marketing, you'll be at Stonehenge. Anybody who enrolls for any event at Stonehenge, even if you just want to do one event
In
at
London.
Stonehenge.
In London. Any event in London.
Any event in London. If you enroll for any London event, you're entitled to attend all London events and have fun and network with everyone in the community and attend Stonehenge and go with us when we go amongst the stones, because Allie, my magical wife, arranges for us to do what no one else can do. Everyone has to stay behind the chains 100 yards away from Stonehenge stones, but we will be amongst the stones taking selfies, making videos for you professionally, etc. My speaker training.
Hey, this is Greg Williams, a master negotiator and body language expert. I'm the former president of the New Jersey chapter of NSA. I'm also a CSP, a certified speaking professional. And I'm telling you, I just attended Clint Author's speaker training program. Everyone in NSA needs to take this particular program because it will definitely help you take your speaking abilities to a much higher level, and Clint will teach you how to make more money on the platform.
I'm a top 1% money earner in the National Speakers Association. If you are in Toastmasters, I have respect, but if you want to learn how to make money by talking and flapping your lips, there's nobody who can teach you better than me. Or create your stories better than me. I have an exact story formula for what is the story that's going to get people's attention. That's why my story consults are normally $10,000. If you enroll here this weekend, you will get a story consult included in whatever membership you decide to enroll for. Why are my stories so good? Well, my high school creative writing teacher won the Pulitzer Prize for his memoir, Angela's Ashes, which was also made into a feature film about his impoverished childhood in Iowa. Then my college roommate's father produced Platoon and won the Academy Award for Best Picture. And when you read my book, Celebrity Entrepreneurship, you will see he had a huge impact on my whole life. And then Oprah, if you've never heard Oprah talk and tell her story, what a great mentor in storytelling she has been for me. Diamond bonus is in this room. If you decide to enroll here tonight in this room, in addition to the Diamond program, which would be any 4 events, including the TEDx event, you will also get the story consult and a sizzle reel. The sizzle reel looks like this.
Dr. Amy Duffy is along with us with Carolina Integrative Medicine. You're very good at what you do. She's the author of the international bestseller, Normal Doesn't Have Side Effects.
She's an award-winning speaker at the Harvard Club of Boston, CNN Center, NASDAQ, New York City Bar Association, and the Philadelphia College of Physicians. Dr. Duffy has shared the stage with Dr. Drew, Martha Stewart, Suzanne Summers, Ice-T, Dr. Oz, and she's an expert guest on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and national network TV shows.
When I was a little girl, I loved babies. At the age of 11, I naturally became a babysitter, and I became really close to one of the families. And when I was 17 years old, I was invited to be in the delivery room when their next baby was due to be born. I was exhilarated. I was going to be part of that experience again. 4 years of medical school, 3 more grueling years of residency. And since that time, I have delivered over 1,000 babies in my lifetime, and even given birth to 4 of my own. And I also expanded my practice into women's health care and the world of functional medicine. When I started practicing medicine this way, the results were phenomenal.
$25,000 program.
So you're not paying for your sickness later. Dr. Duffy, you have literally saved my life. The people that you know make you better. I live my life by that every day.
Dr. Amy Duffy, thank you.
Yeah! Who wrote that story? I wrote that story. This is a sizzle reel. Do you see how that works? Do you see the positioning of it? And now that's the $25,000 wellness program in less than 90 seconds. That's how you get that. Clintanium bonuses. If you want to do everything, hey, I wouldn't blame you. It used to take you years to be able to accomplish everything like that. Now, if you do the Clintanium, you get a story consult plus a sizzle reel, and I will put together all of your assets into your own magazine like this. And each of you should have a magazine like this in your waiting room, so that when you have the people sit in the waiting room for 10 minutes before you see them, which you should all do, they'll be looking at your pictures on the wall, they'll be flipping through your magazine, seeing all the amazing places that you've spoken and the TV shows you've been on and the celebrities that you've met, and you will get everything on this list of our calendar for this coming year and more. Because as I said, I always over-deliver, and there's some things that are not even on there yet. If all this did was get you one new $25,000 wellness patient, it would pay for a Diamond membership, basically. But that's only for 1 year. These assets will live on for years and years and years. My picture with Snoop is from 2014. My stuff with Brooke Shields is also from 2014. The Rolling Stones were 2017. These assets continue to pay dividends as long as you use them. The question is, how bad do you want it? That's really the only question. If you want it, you can have it. If you want to be a celebrity for the first time ever in your life, you just need to want it and step up and say, I'm doing it. And then you will have it. So please, if you're getting this, please fill out the enrollment forms. We do not have unlimited amounts of space for either TED or for London. TED, we have 7 places left. So if you want to be a TED speaker, get it. Fill out the enrollment form. And that's it. Thank you very much.
All right, let's give it up for Clint Arthur. I want you guys to sit for a moment. You know, I want to say something. Having worked with people like Les Brown and Brian Tracy, borrowed credibility, positioning yourself. I've been in the world of putting on big seminars for a year. I've spent time with Clint, something that I'm going to do. Because again, when you celebritize yourself, it raises your level. Now I'm going to bring up one of our sponsors that's sponsoring